Did you know that the technical term for a foot fetish is podophilia? Yeah. It's just a horrible misunderstanding waiting to happen. How many times has Chris Hansen shown up at a house expecting to catch a child molester, and it's just been some dude on his girlfriend's feet? Learn from my mistake. Never post your feet on the internet. You know, I love kink shaming people. It's a hobby of mine. Don't get me wrong. This is America. You have the God-given right to fap to whatever nauseating atrocities you choose. It says so in the Constitution. And I, in turn, have the right to publicly shame you for it. Now, a couple videos ago, one of you reprobates asked me for pictures of my feet. It's a request I received unsettlingly often. So I was like, sure, here you go. And then proceeded to mock the guy and anyone else who likes that kind of stuff. I intended for this to be humorous and ironic. A bait and switch, if you know what I mean. But see, I forgot a very simple, very important truth. There's no such thing as an ironic erection. I fed the beast. And now we're here. Listen, I'm not religious. I'm not a good Christian waifu. I'm a godless heathen, and I'm alright with that. But boy, let me tell you, there are times when I want to find God. There are times when I want to have my spiritual awakening and come to Jesus. At moments like this, I want to buy into the Bible's teachings, just so I can know, or at least believe, that there's a hell for you people to go to. Also, my eyes do not look like that. It's just goofy. Now, by all rights, I should put on my cop hat and arrest you degenerates, but I don't want to. Because it messes up my hair. No, I'm a teacher. This is a classroom. Your punishment will be something much more painful. Learning. So let's learn about your disgusting fetish. You see, Sigmund Freud suggested that people fetishize feet and toes because they are phallic in shape. However, he was also a cokehead who wanted to fuck his mom. So personally, I don't put much stock in his ideas. Now here's where it gets interesting. The popular neuroscientist V.S. Ramachandran actually proposed a physical, biological explanation for foot fetishes. You might have already heard about this because shitty e-publications have been writing articles about it over and over again for the past half decade. You see, right here in your brain, you got this section called the somatosensory cortex. It's kind of important. It's where you feel your body. For example, if you pick up a glass of ice water, you can feel that it's smooth and cold to the touch. That's your somatosensory cortex doing that. Now, if we look at how body parts are mapped in the somatosensory cortex, you'll notice something interesting. The areas responsible for feet and genitals are right next to each other. That means that the place where you feel your wiener is right next to the spot where you feel your little toesies. This guy hypothesized that due to the plasticity of the human brain, neurons in these adjacent areas could wire together, creating an association between feet and sexual pleasure. Bam! You got a foot fetish. Neat idea, right? Now, if it works like that, there should be a correlation. Body parts closer to the genital area of the somatosensory cortex should be more likely to cause sexual arousal. So how did this hypothesis hold up next to actual empirical data? Not good. Some researchers did a study on it. I guess they, got some guys in a lab and stuck electrodes in their brains and then jerked them off with their feet or something. Anyway, they found there was no correlation between a body part's proximity to this area and its erogenous intensity. They also pointed out decades of existing literature which shows that while the sensory cortex is where you feel physical sensation, it doesn't produce sexual arousal. It's the place where you feel your dick, but in the same way that you feel your finger. It's not the part of the brain where you feel horny. Sorry kids, but you don't get a neurological excuse for your degeneracy. It's been scientifically proven that you're just weird and gross. Now what's fucking ridiculous is this study was published in 2014, and yet to this day, internet media sites are still writing articles stating the original hypothesis as a fact and making no mention of this research, which seriously calls it into question. Even Joe Rogan keeps saying this shit. Also, did you know that the technical term for a foot fetish is podophilia? Yeah. Listen, foot people, I know we're not on the best of terms, but you guys really need to change that one. It's just a horrible misunderstanding waiting to happen. How many times has Chris Hansen shown up at a house expecting to catch a child molester, and it's just been some dude nutting on his girlfriend's feet? Just make sure you enunciate that podophilia. We're not diddling kids, we just really like feet. Alright, I'm done making fun of you. Go to lunch. Fucking animals. Something is afoot. Did you know that the people who pressed the like and subscribe buttons on my channel reported harder, longer-lasting erections and increased sexual stamina? Is true. And the people who hit the notification bell experienced an average 20% increase in penis size. Even the women. Really? No bullshit. Alright, fine. None of that's true. Just please press the buttons. Please. If you don't, I'll cry. You don't want to make me cry, do you? I didn't think so, motherfucker. Now press the goddamn buttons. It's kind of hard to seem intimidating like this. Would you consider being a high school teacher? I feel like you'd be the best teacher in history. You know, I was gonna say something sarcastic like, well, the average Twitter user has the emotional maturity of a teenager, so this basically is teaching high school. But then I thought about it, and that's actually not true. You see, when I was in high school, this one teacher made our class team up and pick some current political issues to have debates on. And I was like, great, now I gotta sit with the weird kids I don't normally talk to, and we all gotta pretend to have an opinion about universal health care even though we don't pay taxes. Wonderful. It's gonna be shit. But see, here's the thing. That shitty debate was still better than any discourse I see on Twitter. My sophomore year's social studies class had more nuanced, thoughtful takes than anyone on this site can manage. They were able to hold different opinions and make opposing arguments without throwing tantrums, calling for violence, or trying to ruin each other's lives. And nobody compared anybody to Hitler. Wasn't necessary, not once. Would I make a good high school teacher? Who knows, but I'd love to give it a shot, because a class full of hormonal teenagers would seem like a fucking Mensa meeting next to this place. I mean, Jesus Christ, the main point of this site is to write stuff, and most of you can't write. Farmers in Mesopotamia were writing shit on rocks 5,000 years ago. If you didn't know how to spell something, you just had to walk around till you found the guy who did. And yet, they still had a decipherable written language. You have the entirety of mankind's accumulated knowledge in your pocket, but you still type should've instead of should've. Fuck you. You should've been aborted. It's like you guys learned English as a second language, but there just wasn't a first language. You all honking and squeaking like animals before you got on Twitter. If I held the Twitter user base to the same standards as a high school class, 99% of you would fail. Actually, no. That's too generous. Remember the basic schoolyard etiquette we learned as kids? Don't call names. Don't be a tattletale. If you can't say something nice, then don't say nothing. Why do you all think that just stops applying here? Why do you think it's okay to treat people like trash just because they don't agree with every single one of your thoughts, or they pick the other guy in that stupid popularity contest to decide who pretends to run the country? If this was high school, most of y'all wouldn't make it far enough to actually receive an F. You'd be expelled for your reprehensible behavior. A while ago, I confessed to this girl I known for years, and she said she liked me, but is currently dating someone. But if they ever broke up, she would go out with me. Fast forward, she broke up, guy cheated on her, but she pulled a fast one on me and came out as lesbian. I wanted to be happy, so I never mentioned what she said before. I don't want to ruin the friendship we already have, but I still have feelings for her. What should I do? And I don't know what's going on with these questions lately, but I feel like I accidentally became the anime adaptation of Dear Abby. Now, let us back the fuck up for a second, shall we? You say this lady pulled a fast one on you by coming out as lesbian. That is the worst way of thinking about it I could possibly imagine. She was dating guys, and now she's a lesbian. It would stand to reason that between these two events, she did some serious introspection and realized, holy shit, I'm gay. That's not an Uno reverse card. That's a life-altering, deeply personal revelation, but you're talking about it like it was something she did to weasel out of your agreement. It feels kind of fucked up, and it leads into my next point. There was no agreement. When she said she'd date you if she broke up with what's-his-face, that's not a binding contract. She doesn't owe you anything. She may have felt that way at the time, but she clearly doesn't now. I'm sorry to break it to you, but she knows how you feel about it. She didn't forget it. It didn't slip her mind. She knows, and if she wanted to be with you, she already would. It really is that simple. Look, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm not going to cradle your balls either. That is the reality of the situation. What should you do? Well, the real question is, what can you do? And the answer is not much. You got two options, and they're both shit. You could be stupid and act like a kid and be like, well, you said you'd go out with me, so it's no fair. You promised. You're going to make her uncomfortable. You might even piss her off, and you definitely risk ruining your friendship. Or you could be a man, take your feelings, put them in the attic, and leave them there to die. Obviously, you know it's the right thing to do. Listen, it's gonna hurt to give up and accept that you can't have it. However, that pain does heal. It may take a while, but it does. Now, if you act like an idiot and beg her to date you and ruin the friendship, that is gonna make you feel like a clown for the rest of your life. You're gonna be 65 years old, retired on vacation in Jamaica, knocking back Mai Tais, and all of a sudden that shit's gonna pop into your head and you're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, why, oh why did I fucking do that? Because here's the truth, my friend. Time heals all wounds, but cringe lasts forever. Hey, what's up? You know, it's been a while since we spent some time up close and personal, just you and me. Don't make it gay. So, do you know I got a Patreon? Yeah, I noticed you didn't subscribe to that. Why not? We're not friends anymore? What about a channel membership? It's $2 a month. You don't even have to go to another website. Just press the button. It's easy. Come on. Do it. Pussy. Do it or you got a small dick. You got one of those dicks where you grip it and the tip doesn't come out the top of your fist, even when it's hard. Little bitch. I'll fucking fight you. And I'll win. I'll mollywop you. And then I'll slap your girlfriend's titties around just out of spite, just to disrespect you. Beat the shit out of those things like they were speed bags. Bucket. Yeah. I gotta go.